Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Good Enough Gaming Podcast. This week's episode is entitled, Who Needs Gadgets When You Have Family?
That was good.
That was okay.
Where's your tank top?
Oh, sorry. This week's episode, we're deep diving into Gotham Knights. Daryl is ecstatic.
Rapid.
Yeah. Batman is dead. Yeah, you read that right. Read that? Why are they reading, Daryl? You heard that. Now it's time for the team of proteges to put on their collective cowls and take the mantle as Gotham's protectors. Finally, we have a game built around playing as the sidekicks in one of the biggest and greatest comic book universes in history. That hurt a little bit to say.
Daryl
It's
wrote
true,
this.
though. It's
Yeah.
true.
From Jason bad guys climbing barbed-wire fences and dicking around in Gotham streets listening to Drake.
Oh, God.
Gotham Knights has it all. Join us as we show some love for the overlooked heroes in training in a modern take of a story from the past. God, those name puns, man. It's just
That was
they
cool.
got
Goodies.
me.
DC people will appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. One sentence.
Yeah, it was,
One
That's pretty good.
Very good.
one sentence later.
yeah. So obviously we're taking a look at Gotham Knights tonight. Personally, I haven't touched it. I haven't bought it. I've looked at it curiously. I've been poked and prodded to consider buying it as the 4-player multiplayer DLC was
Came
released
out
recently.
recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just came out.
But I ain't got no time. I got enough on my
nobody got
plate
time
as
for
it
that.
is. So we're gonna
Maybe
leave
in the new year.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. We got a bit of time off before we go back to work, so maybe we'll find some time.
All the games.
After all those, home projects that always happen. right?
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from. But I know for sure, Daryl, Jordan, you've played it quite a bit. Trevor, have you hopped on it?
I have not yet. I've looked at it quite a bit, same as you. I just haven't gotten the chance.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna lean heavily. You're not gonna hear me talk a lot tonight. It's
Hey,
Christmas miracle.
This is amazing.
Let me go.
I mean it's known that I love the sound of my own voice here, but
Typical.
This is our
But-
Christmas gift to all of our listeners. It's
fuck
a
you
little
guys.
early, but hey.
Fa la 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 la. Fuck you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. So, Daryl, take it away. Give us since you're Mr. Platinum here and you went hard in the paint on this one. We obviously expected nothing less.
No,
No, we knew this was going to happen. We knew you were going to crush it.
Anybody that knows me knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
I have not, since Injustice 2, I haven't been anticipating a game at this level. And before I got it, because I ordered the holy shit version like Jordan, came with the statue and the map and the owl key and everything. Like,
Yeah,
it was cool. The statue thing is legit awesome. So
so good.
I was really disappointed that IGN gave it a 5 out of 10. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, this is not good. I was like, I just spent a lot of money on a game that's not going to be good.
Yeah,
But the problem is that in lots of the reviews, the comparison was directly to the Arkham series
yeah,
and to some of the newer generation games. And it's not made by the exact same people and it's not run on the same engine. So to me, that was a problem because it's not the same. It never was the same. It follows none of that story. It's not part of that universe. So let it stand alone. And to me, this game is a lot like the Spider-Man from PS4. Like to me, that's how it plays.
Kyle's eyebrows just went up.
I mean, like it's a good parallel, and like,
Yeah.
would you say that like the fighting mechanics and stuff felt like Spider-Man, or
Yeah. Because
okay,
as you go, you're unlocking new combos
Abilities.
and moves and abilities that you can do with all the characters, and everybody fights differently. So every
Yes,
single one of the
nice.
4 playable characters, Red Hood, Batgirl, Nightwing, and Robin, Tim Drake Robin, like all of them fight differently. And that is so cool. Red Hood, like I played both run-throughs of the game. I platinumed the game, and in order to do that, you essentially have to start a new game plus and get to level 40 and do all the things. And I just did all of it again anyways, because I was like, yeah, whatever, I'm already here. So I might as well.
you were having a great time.
Like, that's the thing is, I got to use Red Hood, and he's good from a distance. So he's a distance fighter, but he's like also really powerful, like as a melee fighter, where Nightwing is fast and agile and can do lots of cool counter moves. Tim Drake is the fastest fighter of all of them. And like Barbara's super, like got all kinds of gadgets and super swift and like methodical. And like Red is just like a brute. Like he's a little bit slower, but he
bit of a tank role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would
So-
you say Batgirl was tailored that way to be swift?
Oh god.
Get out of here.
Take your high ticket sales from Ticketmaster somewhere else. Yeah,
me.
like I loved this game. I couldn't put it down. I wanted to finish it. I wanted to know the story. I couldn't wait to get more gear. I couldn't wait to like unlock the best powerful shit. I think max level is 10,000 and
Whoa.
my Red Hood character is
like power.
9,998. Like so I'm
They
too
make character
off of
level.
like the maximum that I think you can get. The game has so much more to offer, and I think like if you only played an hour, you wouldn't get it, and you'd be pissed off about some of the experiences.
I
But
agree with that.
if you played 20, you'd be into it because I don't know. Jordan, what do you think of like the initial playthrough? Because that's like the best comparison I can make is the Spider-Man game.
Yeah, I agree with you that I think there were some unfair kind of connections and expectations out of the game. Completely different devs, different engine. The Arkham series almost leaned more into like photorealism, and it looked like it was a bit more grounded, like it could take place here. Whereas like Gotham Knights looks more comic book art style. It has a little bit more of an animated kind of component to it. It's not photorealistic. So to compare both of those games, I agree with Daryl, I think was unfair in a lot of the reviews that I saw. The game's certainly not perfect. There's a lot of technical issues. I'll be honest,
There's some bad bugs.
yeah. I'll be honest, part of the reason why I stepped away from it after 10 hours or so was because of some of the technical issues. And in my mind, I was like, God of War is coming out. There's so many other games coming out right around this time. I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna platinum it just like Daryl did. But I'm gonna give the devs a couple months. I'm gonna give them some time to iron the kinks out, make the game run a bit smoother, and then I'll go back into it because taking the technical side of it out of the equation. To Daryl's point, the combat feels great. It's heavy. It's brutal.
Is it chunky?
It's very close to being very close to being chunky, but not quite. The narrative points that I've seen so far, it hasn't quite gotten into like the Court of Owls stuff too much yet.
Okay.
But from what I've played, super interesting. Daryl and I played some missions together. Yeah. And we thought it was really cool because the dialogue in cutscenes changes, and even in like as you're playing the mission, just some of the banter between characters changes.
So it changes
based on it.
every combination.
Based on the characters that you choose to go in with, which so there are some attention to the little details that are actually super impressive. Both Daryl and I were like, whoa, like that's fucking cool.
I was shocked when I joined his game, and I was like, I am in the cinematic too. Like
that's rare.
That is super weird. And but it took me back. I was like, whoa, like I've never seen this. I've never seen this happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I really like that. The loot and the customization I thought was really great.
We got a lot of pictures from Daryl on that one.
Every character's got a bunch of comic book variants that are pulled straight from different storylines, but then you can also certain suits and weapons and stuff have like variations within them that you can tweak and change too. So even if you both played the same character and had the same suit, they could be different colors. There's three different logos you can pick from, three different greaves and like boots and stuff. And your helmet. You can choose from, and your helmet. So you can still look different even though you're using the same suit.
Cool.
So
I like transmog type stuff.
Yeah, and you pick which piece you like the most. You can mismatch stuff. Like you can. It's actually sweet. Yeah. I thought that was a great little component. Instead of just having like 16 costumes and like that's what you get. There's different components, those 4 different pieces that are customizable with 3 things each for every single costume except for the premier transmogs, like the Night Watch and the Knighthood and the Talon ones.
And then you've got up to, 12 different color?
There's...
Or is it 16 as well?
I think it's 15.
15? Yeah, so like you could even do like white vision from MCU where your entire suit is white. Yeah. It doesn't matter which one you pick. Okay,
there's a shout out to Aquaman in that game, so you can get Atlantis colors.
Okay.
You can get Deathstroke colors, like the classic, like orange and blue.
Yeah.
There's the Court of Owls one, so it's like gray, black, and yellow. There's Zurinar, which is like the backwards world, so it's like purple, yellow, and like an orangish red. Like it's actually sweet. Like there's a bunch of stuff in there that pays homage to other components.
Yeah, there's a lot of DC call outs, a lot of Easter eggs and stuff too. I'm playing through my playthrough is as Robin right now. Really enjoy that character. Fast and fluid. It's got a bow staff, which definitely sucked me in. Love the bow staff component, and then he uses a lot of gadgets and abilities from the Justice League headquarters out in space.
Ooh, lots of gadgets.
So like he can teleport point to point on the map. Which is crazy cool. So it adds different ways to kind of get into combat and things too. So, really like that.
Do you get, so with aside from like general power ups with the suits, is it similar to like Miles Morales or Spider-Man where they like have specific abilities? Does that make sense?
Instead of the suit having like a particular ability, as you go into the higher levels and get better gear, like once you basically hit level 26, that's when it started happening to me. The weapons come with extra modifiers on them.
Yeah.
Okay. So as it's going, more stuff has like more implications to certain powers or certain types of moves or certain combinations. So you want to superload like things that work together and gel together nicely and just give you bonuses or work with something that is your fighting style, like you enjoy.
So based on the way you play, kind of like any other RPG game, you eventually get kind of like power up items that help enhance that.
Are they random drops, or are they like specific find sort of things? So you can like, you don't have to like, it's not a grindy game where you have to like grind to pick a specific piece of gear or that sort of thing.
Is it like Diablo Borderlands, or is it like Final Fantasy?
It's kind of, it has a weird intricacy in the way that, so when you go out and you patrol Gotham, like you go to the Belfry, you meet up as a group, and then you go out on a night and you go and stop crimes.
Belfry.
Yeah. So if you as soon as you're done, as soon as you go back to the Belfry, everything you've done that night closes, and anything that was available for you to do that was like kind of random and crime related, it's gone.
It disappears.
Oh, okay.
So it resets in the next night. So it'd be like going through an area in the Spider-Man game, and as soon as you came back to it, everything had changed.
Oh,
sort of like those like kind of like in the moment, like the car chases and the other like
exactly
the world events.
The world events, but they're all, so the big ones that you can do are marked. They're marked by difficulty. So the higher the difficulty, the greater the reward. And then at the end game, you want to find the very high difficulty stuff because it offers you potential legendary, like gear and modifiers and stuff like that. So you want to go to those, and it's actually marked. When you'll know what you're going to get out of it before you even get there. Like it promises you a new piece of gear, a modifier for your ranged or melee weapon or whatever. Like it is marked exactly what you're going to get. And then you have side missions for other characters in the game that you're just like, you go and check in with the Night Watch every single night. You get a random group or an area that they want you to go do the super random encounters. Like even in the Spider-Man game, like you're swinging by and somebody's screaming for help. Like you stop and you go do that. You do that 6 times. You get a sick reward from the Night Watch.
Oh, okay.
If
like
you get
faction reward kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so you have to do 6 stealth kills, or you got to go stop 7 crimes, or you got to take down 3 heavies. Like that stuff rotates every single night too, and you get big rewards for going and doing those things. And then you just look at the missions all on the map, and you're like, oh, I'm going to do this very high one, and the rest of them are low or medium. They don't serve me any purpose. I don't need them. So I'm just going to do the very highs and call it a night.
Yeah.
And,
cool.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the cool thing with this game is, to like Kyle's, dad gaming bubble, like if you wanted to leave the Belfry and you've got an hour, it's like, well, I can spend 30 minutes to 40 minutes patrolling Gotham. I can do all of these little checkpoints and all these markers, get some sick gear, get some new, modifiers and abilities. And then I can call it a night at the Belfry and okay, I can't play anymore. And it's like, well, I still feel productive. It still rewarded my time because I was able to get some gear and some other stuff. So that's definitely a nice piece to this game, for sure.
Do you ever play during the day?
No. Like
I was like, between
missions...
Arkham and this, I'm like, is Batman ever, like Batman games was like, is there ever daytime?
Nope.
Like
nighttime.
they train and sleep during the day, basically. Like the night is when all the crime happens or whatever. And it's typical Gotham style. Anything,
crime
right? Like
never sleeps.
It's like always dark and
I thought that was Justice.
Yeah.
I thought Justice never sleeps. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's some narrative stuff in the Belfry that takes place during the day. Like you could see the sunlight coming through the windows and stuff. But yeah, as soon as you put the suit on and go out,
it's nighttime, baby.
It's nighttime.
Darkness.
Where's Rachel?
Where is she?
It's like the Batman movie.
Always raining.
Yeah. So dark.
It's just like kind of a trope with the whole thing, and they kind of stuck with it, but it doesn't detract from anything, and it doesn't take away from any experiences. This game, like, and the rating is what shocked me the most, because this game comes out with an absolutely insane first cinematic.
That
like
cuts,
it is a short film, just like number one, but it is like crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, they must have spent their entire budget on this whole first cinematic of this game because it is lengthy and it is fucking cool.
It's heavy too. Like it shows you the stakes of what this world is going to be. Like it's it was awesome.
That's pretty cool.
So
And then throughout are the
cinematics.
Are the cinematics pretty good like throughout then as well?
Yes.
Aside from just that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, they like the first one is the premiere, it's the best, but there's a couple other ones that are like really good. And if you do the side mission like bonus like big character fights,
Yeah.
those are sick. Those are like so good, so well done. Yeah, I highly recommend doing that. The one I just stumbled upon doing some other patrolling that I was like, what? Like, and finishing that whole mission, the end of that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
trying not to go full spoilies.
Yeah.
And the voice acting is good too. Like, like we did a mission that involved Mr. Freeze. And like that stuff was great. I thought, so far, at least for me, the performances from like the villains and stuff, especially, are really good. It's definitely
Penguin is great. Mr. Freeze is awesome. Harley Quinn is like exactly what you'd expect. And some of the components of those missions are what's so fun. Like when you leave and go into the yard of like the prison.
Yeah.
And you're fighting like 30 people at once as they're trying to fight some guards and stuff too. You have to beat up the guards and the prisoners. Like it's fucking mayhem.
Yeah.
But it is so awesome. Like it's so much fun.
Well, and there's music that's playing in the background too during that fight as well.
Yeah.
Just it kind of starts coming out of nowhere. So like that's awesome too. Like just the little points.
Is it like Ninja Turtles like Shredder battle level of like epic music, or is it just like?
Oh, it's good.
It complements the scene.
It's no Wu-Tang, but it's got to be up there.
Yeah,
it's no Wu-Tang, but
Yeah.
What
it
is
good though?
Sorry, just had to pay my respects.
Oh my god!
Wu-Tang Financial.
Protect your neck. You protect your neck with the Wu-Tang, and yeah. So, are we ready for a break? Are we good to give Daryl a chance to like clear his throat and come back for a second round?
I'm sorry.
Cool off.
No, you're
Everybody chill. All right, cool. So I think we'll give Daryl a little bit of a break from his one-man show of Batman. He's obviously clearly excited about it, which is great. But we're going to take a break and go into our episode of Dad Reviews.
Papa! Papa! Papa!
Dad Review.
Papa!
So this week's episode of Dad Reviews, I haven't had a ton of time to play a lot of games. There's not a lot of diversity for me, but I am going to actually circle back to one we've already talked about because I've had significantly more time to put into it. So I'm about like 11 to 12 hours into God of War now, and I can firmly say that this is a dad game. Not just for the fact that it's about a father who loves his son and is following him on his quest to do what he needs to do to save the world from Ragnarok, and as everything along the way, as dads do. Yeah.
Kyle's cried 5 times already.
I told you that in confidence.
He's only played 4 hours.
The poor wolf.
Okay, that was sad.
That was sad, actually.
Poor Fenrir.
Yeah.
That starts the game.
But I will say that, like, from a a perspective of someone that doesn't have a ton of time to game, it is super easy to like hop in and out. Like you can do one quest and it goes long enough that keeps you involved and engaged, but you can pause it. Like it has like fully pausable. It has accessibility options, so where like if you're fighting a boss battle and you get to certain checkpoints in that boss battle and you die, the boss doesn't come back with full health. You can come back from where you ended and when you died, which is really nice because like I'm all for the Dark Souls Elden Ring grind of like triumphing over hardship. No,
Are you?
no. Hey, I put a decent amount of hours into Elden Ring.
Casual.
You did. You did.
You did actually.
But there is something for like I didn't have to I got stuck on a boss. I didn't have to turn down the difficulty. I just like spawn me back in because I don't want to have to like difficulty hop back up and down for stuff that I get stuck on. The puzzles and stuff are interesting. Like there was the one I ran into. Like there was one of the the unlock chests where you got to hit the like 3 different symbols or whatever. The one with the swinging fire pot that you had to use. That was fun.
Sometimes I do wish people would kind of like shut up and like not constantly tell you what to do.
That's my one frustration is that like I can't have 2 seconds to try and solve the puzzle. The NPC is immediately like telling me what I need to do. It's like, just shut up, Angerboda. Let me do it. Let me do it.
I feel like they don't help a whole ton. Well, maybe
but just like shut up. Just shut up and let me do it.
The issue I find is they say, "Hey, over there," and the issue is you're in a third person like top.
I can see where you're looking.
Everything is up. That's the problem. Is they're like, I'm looking where I'm going, and they're like, "But over there," and you're like, "Okay, I have to look like at the fucking sky."
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of out of the view of the camera.
Yeah.
No more flying ravens.
Oh my
Never
god!
flying anything.
Okay,
No more flying ravens.
Just
let them be
ravens.
perched somewhere that I can hit.
the worst thing is hearing one and not being able to fucking find it in your view.
That's the worst too. Yeah.
It's like it's so infuriating. You stand like you waste like half an hour just looking for it. It's like, well, I give up. I'm gonna move on.
Yeah.
The gear is nice. Like being able to upgrade and find new stuff is cool. I just found some new armor for Kratos and it's pretty badass. But yeah, again, it's it's a good like father son save the world kind of story. Lots of new players, lots of characters in it, and I mean, no shit, you recommend God of War, but like it's
it can be bite-sized.
You can put it away right away too. Like
exactly.
It's one of those games you can save at any point.
Yeah, you pause. Yeah, oh, that's the other thing. Yeah, you can save wherever. You come right back in it. Yeah, you can pause. I can pause it and go deal with my kids.
And now there's a photo mode.
Yes, much to Jordan's delight,
and mine. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. The landscapes, the scenery in it is like very beautiful, and there's some very epic shots that you can get. So I could see Jordan just going back through again just to do photos.
Wait till you get to Asgard. The scenery in the background looks like it's almost ripped from a photograph.
Oh,
it's insane.
Okay,
it's really good.
I'm looking forward to it once I get there. It'll take me like 5 more weeks, but
you'll get there.
Pace, not race.
I was actually thinking about this. I was like, man, this might be the first time I finish one of these games before Kyle. If I can do it.
Yeah, you've put in a lot of hours.
I've been trying to catch up.
But now aren't you the furthest ahead?
No, Jordan's still the furthest.
Okay.
We're kind of
yeah. Me and Trevor are pretty
keep
close
trading
together.
spots.
yeah.
No.
Okay. Well,
Highly
no
recommended.
shit. God of War, pick it up. Dads, everyone.
Prepare to cry.
Literally everyone. All right. Well, let's bring it back then. So Daryl, when you like first jumped in versus like, did it have like any major updates when you like as you were playing it that you noticed a difference?
There wasn't anything that I noticed super. Like some of the things I wanted fixed didn't get fixed, which was weird.
Okay.
And Jordan
Like
can
what?
attest to this. So in the cutscenes, if you finished the night and then went back and you got a cutscene,
Yeah.
in the part where Jason Todd Red Hood is wearing his hoodie, the drawstrings stick straight out, like they're like erect.
It's like the T-pose in
They
it.
don't move. They don't move. They just
Whereas like everybody else's stuff is fine. Like
Yeah.
Barbara Gordon has like a hoodie as well, and it like her strings are fine, but his are just like diamonds in an ice storm, baby, rock hard.
It's excited to be there.
Like full attention. And
Yeah.
you can't look away from it. It's so distracting. It's like, what? And how the fuck is this the bug that you have? Like, what?
How
This makes no sense.
how does a quality control tester not see that? Like,
Yeah,
how does
guys.
that get missed by somebody?
It was a pretty common complaint online, is being like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, this is one of those things. I was like, okay, so this is not a 10 out of 10 game because you
Yeah.
have
Some
like
glaring bugs.
some glaring issues that like,
some problems.
like Trevor said, like the T-pose situation. I was like, wow, like this is not great. Where everything else in the cinematic works perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Just
just
those
that one
drawstrings.
piece.
The drawstring
Yeah.
physics.
It's just something got away from them.
Brothers.
So-
They
Yeah.
fired the physics guy.
The drawstring guy is out.
Yeah, one job. Fucked
I
up.
was like, just take his hoodie off. Just put him in a
Yeah.
t-shirt. Like for fuck's
Yeah.
sakes, like this is an easy fix.
Take out the drawstring. Just don't put
Yeah.
the drawstring in.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Don't
even
even drawstrings.
Oh, so that was an issue that I was like, I expected after the first couple updates to get resolved, and didn't. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, that sucks. And then the driving of the motorcycle seemed very rigid, and
Yeah.
that kind of got ironed out a little bit after the first patch. Like there was some turning issues and camera
I heard there's
issues
just
with the motorcycle.
like handling.
I heard there's
Well,
frame rate issues with it too.
It was,
Like, really-
there was
yeah.
frame rate problems, and then there was like turning it felt impossible at certain corners, and so like when you're going too fast, and so anyways that got resolved, which was
Yeah.
nice. So there was some things that got fixed. I never had any glitches with battle. I never had
Okay.
any glitches with transversing the buildings or anything like that. Like I know that there was a couple online in the first couple weeks, but I never had any of that. So, and like I said, I played through that game twice and didn't
Yeah.
have a single one of those things come up.
How did you feel about the frame rate being locked at 30 FPS versus like 60? Like wasn't it like
60 open.
yeah.
I was disappointed because your rate of view kind of differs, but it's so dark and there's not a whole lot happening on any to say that it affects the game greatly and that it could be so much better. I don't know if it would. Like I don't know if it actually changes that much in totality. The one thing I will say, like in terms of graphics and capability, this game has one of the best photo modes of any game ever.
Really?
The photo mode is fantastic. Yeah, you
Just
can
with like
tell,
what you could do with it?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and it's ease functionality.
yeah.
Okay.
You can tell that photo modes are starting to become like people are being hired onto devs to develop photo modes. Like to me, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War,
Yeah, that was gonna be my
Spider-Man, and Gotham Knights are probably the 4 best photo modes. Like Death Stranding was okay, but it wasn't as intuitive as these.
Interesting that like
Horizon is
interesting that 4 out of the 5 in those conversation are PlayStation exclusives.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, and I bet
like last week's episode.
I bet you the exclusive devs, they probably do share some code and stuff.
I could see that, yeah.
Like that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, 'cause
It's
some of,
like why reinvent the wheel if you've done something that's obviously quality.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Because like in this, like Daryl, if you're saying it's like ease of use, like that to me is the biggest one. So many photo modes are like, I was like, I don't own a fucking like DSLR like super fancy camera. I don't know what half this shit means.
Yeah.
Don't give me those features because I don't know what that is.
Exactly. Like I tried to take some nice photos in Horizon, and I ran into like lighting issues or just like vibrancy stuff. I have taken the best photos I've ever taken in video games.
We know we got a lot. We got a lot.
In a fraction of the time that it's taken me to line anything up from any other game, and it's just, it lends itself to photo mode so nicely with even some of the simple tasks in the map. When you finish it, it usually gives you a chance to like pause the game here, take a sick photo. This is your chance. Like you finish the mission and you're perched on top of the gargoyle statue thing on top of one of the buildings.
It's almost like curated a little bit for you.
It is.
100%.
Is it like the classic 3D movie? The classic 3D movie where like here's the 3D. Like, yes, thanks, guys. I'm glad I paid extra $5 for this.
But like lighting angles and the filters and stuff, like it's actually super easy to use. You can the dope thing is like you can change the pose of the person just like in Horizon. Like you can make Aloy do funny stuff and whatever. It's like this one gives you a multitude of different poses. So like you could be just stand still and you got a guy coming towards you and you start photo mode at your T pose. But then you can change it so you're like locked. You know, turn it sideways, kill shot. You got you're locked and loaded. You're facing the guy, and you can make an incredible shot. Like, and that's what's super cool.
Yeah, we got a lot of those.
I'm kind of waiting for
I couldn't have myself.
Sony or Microsoft or someone to step in as like a, hey, upload this immediately and like order prints of your favorite.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shots.
Like, to be able to
partner with display
would be cool.
Oh,
man. Like that.
Don't even
that would be
Kyle.
cool.
You're gonna make
I would be
Jordan
broke as fuck.
If I could display my own photos I took from that game, I will lose
You would
my
have a house
mind.
to put them in.
and your house. He won't even have a house. He'll just have like a house made of disc plates.
This
This is the house that disc plate built.
Just gonna rent out rooms.
Just
I know that Sony and I think Xbox does as well, but like when a new game comes out, they'll usually do a week-long social media thing where you can post your own photos and stuff, and then you can put like a hashtag. Yeah, you can do like a hashtag, and they might highlight your images on their account.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
There's always insane ones. Like it's
I know.
Like there's
People
some
take the craziest stuff.
Yeah, so good. It would almost be cool if there was somehow a way where it could auto do that straight from the console, though. Like if you were to
that would be cool.
If you were to, save a photo, it would just automatically do that kind of stuff. That
like
would
link your Instagram or whatever.
Yeah, that would.
I could see them going that way. I mean, I know Xbox just added Discord, so a little less like
I think
social media, but
I think PlayStation's supposed to get Discord next year. I think
that would make sense. But
I mean, they announced it so long ago, and just
link your Instagram, link your Facebook, like put up your photos, like makes sense to me.
Because everything's all like interconnected, anyways. Now, like
well, essentially.
Do you have an internet connection? Now. Does this thing run apps? Yes,
yes, done.
Well, here it is.
Yeah.
All together now.
I mean, it's good that like you can export screenshots right to your PS app as well.
Yes, that's super handy.
That has made a world of difference.
Does Xbox do something like that?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. You can get your capture uploaded, and it uploads it to like the cloud, and you can access it from anywhere.
Yeah. Sweet. Kind of looping back from our very long tangent, but looping back to Daryl talking about like glitches and stuff. I'm in the same boat. I mean, maybe we're lucky, but like I haven't had any game crashes. I haven't had any game breaking bugs that have stopped me from progression. Finishing a mission or something like that.
Well, that's good because like that's frustrating.
Yeah, and I know some people have had that stuff with Gotham Knights, so like it's super shitty, but I think it's a pretty isolated thing.
Was this game only current gen, or did they also do like the PS4?
So they had initially developed it as a cross-gen platform game or a cross-gen game.
Yeah.
But then I don't know, Daryl, maybe 2 years before release or a year and a half before release,
Do it.
they publicly came out and said this game will not run properly on old gen, so we're just going to cancel development.
Okay.
And people
that was my
pissed.
concern with some of the with some of the glitches. But it's like if you knew it wasn't going to run on those, like if it has troubles on current gen, then maybe
Imagine a PS4, like an original PS4, trying to run it, sounding like a fucking jet engine.
Well, I was like, you would have had
potato.
Cyberpunk level problems.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Because I can see how that would have been possible with some of the combat stuff. Like I could see that being
too much
problem.
going on at one time.
Yeah.
Well, and I will say that like I don't think this game is optimized well. Do I think the game is going to be polished to God of War levels? No, I do not.
No.
I do think that it does some things that maybe we just haven't figured out how to. And this is coming from a guy that knows nothing about fucking developing a video game.
Yeah.
But I do think the game could probably have an uncapped frame rate. So yeah, it might not consistently hit 60, but maybe we're floating between like 45 to 55 type, and like if it were to, kind of fluctuate between that, I would take that.
And then like 60 FPS, like cinematics. Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Like
I notice it the most.
Yeah. I would be okay with that. Other games have done stuff like that, and it's worked really well. I think in combat and in certain areas, the 30 FPS doesn't matter. You forget that it's there.
It still flows well.
But
yeah, no, honestly, that's like you just.
Yeah, like for me, the driving feels sluggish because of the frame rate a little bit. And then when you do get frame rate dips, like I know when Daryl and I had joined co-op and I played with Kenton as well a couple of times. Co-op games, the frame rate dipped below 30, which now it's a problem. Now that's starting to be an issue.
Yeah.
So maybe that's been fixed. It's been a while since I've hopped on, but to me, that's just optimization. Like that's just, there's something there on the dev side that you're just not doing. Because that seems like an oversight to me. Not a technical limitation.
Since they kind of built this to be a multiplayer, like even with the latest DLC,
to me is it's the biggest issue there.
They built it so that you could cooperate with somebody else online and play, and really push for that like cooperative piece.
Yeah.
So like to not have that figured out is problematic, and that is like again where I was like some of the low reviews. I was like, okay, well that's a component I'd understand would give you a lower review rating than because that's a problem.
Yeah.
When you're
Although we forgive like FromSoft for like Elden Ring, we're like, they've always had issues with multiplayer. It's fine.
It is. Yeah, it is funny that the different kinds of games that get like free passes, for certain things. I agree with Daryl though. This game is not a 5. There were some harsh reviews out there, IGN being one of them.
Yeah.
It's not perfect either though. It's not a 10 out of 10.
It's not a
5, but it's not a 10.
No. Like for me, again, I haven't played, like I haven't finished. But for me, it's sitting probably at a 7.5.
Okay. That's still kind of, I guess
like for me, it's the technical parts that are it kind of took me out of the experience a little bit.
Okay. Now,
but the
if
gameplay is good.
If the tech was perfect, if there was no bugs, no issues, what would you give it?
9 out of 10
Okay.
for me. Yeah.
Daryl, agreement?
I'm an 8.
Okay.
And that's because I didn't.
No, buddy, you're a 10.
Nah.
It's an 8 out of 10 for me because I got so into the story and so into the actual game once I was rolling.
Okay.
That I love those games where I time sync, like I'm completely in it and I lose track of
It's been 4
everything
hours.
else. Yeah,
I lose track of time all the time.
Yeah, we know you do. It's like when I play, I'll play for 3-4 hours. I'm like, how did I take that long already? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Whereas, and this game did that for me on multiple occasions, and
just full immersion.
Full immersion. The story was great. It was interesting. It was intriguing. You could kind of tell what they were leading to, and it's still open. I think there's more to come for this game, and I had a good time playing this game. That was a fun platinum for me.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding. So if you had to predict or like where you where would you like to see the future of the franchise go now that we've sort of progressed past Batman being dead?
Wait, what?
Like I know there's that Suicide Squad game that's coming out.
Yeah.
So completely separate. That is
different universe.
That is the Arkham developers, and that is the Arkham universe.
Okay.
And they actually just released a trailer this week confirming that Batman is in that game, and it's also Kevin Conroy voice acting. It's one of the last roles.
He did.
So
It's one of the last properties that he was ever in.
I'll probably cry during that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, that is completely separate from this universe.
And I think with the death of Kevin Conroy, like I honestly feel like the Arkham Batman series is done. Like it
would make sense if they capped it.
Yeah, like I feel like that's over, and I feel like we're going to start seeing more games with the involvement of other characters. So I could see Gotham Knights having a sequel. There's lots of opportunity for that. There's still some stuff with the Court of Owls that door is not closed.
Okay.
At the end of this,
hasn't flown.
That's not a spoiler. That's just like there's just things happening with that that are not closed off. So I could see another game or DLC content or whatever coming for the future of that one for sure. I haven't played the 4-player Starro stuff yet. It looks fun. And I'm waiting for you guys to get it so we can all play together. But
yes.
And I will replay, like I'm going to keep playing. I want to unlock all the costumes and stuff for all the other characters now. So I will continue to play and do other stuff as you guys go. But I would, like Jordan was saying about the Suicide Squad game, like I see more games with different stuff happening.
Yeah, no, I think with Kevin Conroy passing away and with kind of a shift lately, kind of moving away from Batman, I really hope this game sold well enough because like I agree with Daryl, it would actually be really nice to see other DC characters get their limelight in video games.
Totally.
I would play a Green Lantern game. I would play a Martian Manhunter game.
There's Aquaman game.
All swimming Aquaman.
Aquaman is
Open
just
world.
Aquaman video game is just Wave Racer 2.
I played shit out of that game.
You're just riding a dolphin.
Yeah, exactly.
Aquaman racing.
Yeah. But yeah, like I would like to see other characters get games because there are, even Green Arrow, I think could potentially be a pretty interesting character in video games. So we'll see. Hopefully this game sold well enough to prove that, that you don't need Batman to make a game.
Yeah.
Just reboot Batman.
Justice League game or something like
a couple of years. Just reboot Batman.
Yeah.
Start again.
Yeah, we haven't had a Justice League game since PS2.
Yeah. So
yeah, it wasn't great, but hey, we still got one.
I really want Injustice 3 more than anything else.
Yeah, and that's we knew that was coming.
Fighting superheroes just makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God.
It's
Giving
coming.
Daryl's
Don't
pensions
worry.
for Fantasy Face Off.
Daryl and I will shit a fucking chicken if Injustice 3 is announced.
At any
coming.
point.
At any point.
There was no snippets of anything Mortal Kombat or Injustice related at the Game Awards. I was kind of hoping maybe something would pop up.
Just like a little bit.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's like a no competition clause. It's just like a cycle. We're like, okay, we're gonna do Street Fighter, and then we're gonna do Mortal Kombat, and then we're gonna go back to Injustice, and we're gonna just like kind of keep this like 6-year cycle. And then there's like, you throw in like Tekken and some other shit in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Tekken 8 thing
Soul
actually
Calibur.
was good.
Yes,
Yeah,
Soul Calibur.
Tekken does look good. I'm not a 3D fighter though. For games, I got to be 2D side scrolling fighting. Yeah, that's my
2D
jam.
or not 2D?
Oh, shut
That's
up.
the question. On that note,
Yeah,
I think it's a great time to wrap it up here. Obviously, Daryl and Jordan were our gurus into the world of the Gotham Knights. We know that this episode would probably be like 2+ hours if we just went like Daryl uncut.
Daryl deep dive.
Yeah,
we can
maybe we'll do a solo series. Yeah,
we can do a spoiler episode later on and just fucking get right into it.
but
I wish I can't wait for you guys to play because I had a blast and I'm playing it
it's
again.
nice to find a game that you're like excited for your friends to play because you know how good it is.
Yeah.
You know,
Especially after it got kind of like review trashed.
yeah. Well, I think that just about wraps it up. The sun is rising on the city of Gotham. The superheroes are going to bed.
Gotham has a sun.
Gotham, there's no sunshine in Gotham. What?
Yeah. Sorry, it's overcast, and
Yeah,
you
there
can't
you go.
quite tell,
Yeah.
but it's slightly lighter overcast.
There we go.
All right, there it is. All right. Thanks again for joining us on the Good Enough Gaming podcast. We're going to be taking a little break over the Christmas break to break some breaks. Yeah.
Family time.
Yeah. Do those things.
Combo breaker.
But we
Dunk
will be
my
back.
nuts in the sandy beach.
Right. You're going on vacation.
Oh,
He's going to an all nudist resort.
Yes, I am.
with his family.
Don't forget to put a towel down.
His family.
Weirdest
what-
family vacation ever.
That is the best Christmas card photo you could ever send to anyone.
Jesus. We will be back in the new year. I think we're even going to try and get an in-person episode off the ground
Holy shit.
once we have some time. Because our schedules never stop, apparently. But
we try.
we'll be in person. We'll iron out a few kinks and that sort of thing and make it work. So thank you all for joining us, and Merry Christmas. Is this
Happy holidays.
Happy Holidays?
There you go.
Merry Batmas. Happy New
Happy
Year.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Oh, you beat me to it. Fuck.
We hope your holidays are good enough.
Where is she?
Good enough.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at GEG Podcast. Check out our website, goodenoughgaming.com, and write us an email about anything from our episodes or something you would like us to discuss in the future. You can also now join us on Discord on the Good Enough Gaming Discord server. We really appreciate you listening and hope you continue to join us on this epic adventure of discussing all things gaming and nerdy. Please subscribe to the Good Enough Gaming podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever else you listen to your podcasts, and rate us 5 stars so we can find more good enoughers in the process. Just remember, we might not be great, but we are good enough.